Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Gladys. Dr. Gladys McGarey, the mother of holistic medicine, a dear friend of myself and my family for many years. And I'm pleased to welcome you into a little bit of how Dr. Gladys thinks and some words of wisdom from living almost 102 years on this planet. So thank you for joining us. Dr. Gladys, I have some questions for you, and I'm going to step back so you all can enjoy her.
All righty. Okay.
So joy seems to be something that's very elusive for many people right now. You know, there are traumas happening, and you've talked about some ways that we can handle traumas by being the light wherever we are. You have your 5 L's for, that we know about, and do those 5 L's still hold up within the trauma and the tragedy and the kind of the challenging times that we may encounter personally or even, as a society? Where do we find the joy?
Well, let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was sharing the platform, I don't know what the event was, with my daughter, Analia. And after we were standing around talking, and people came up and said, "Oh, Dr. Gladys, what's your secret?" And I was trying to come up with something that was cute and smart, and nothing was coming. But I got the elbow from my daughter, and she said, "Mom, you do so know, you dwell in gratitude." And I said, "Yeah, okay, that's right." Because it's different to dwell in gratitude than just to be grateful for something, that's part of it. But to dwell in gratitude for me is like, and I have to remind myself about this, what I'm doing, like the air around me. It's like the fact that I'm actually still alive. When you begin to count your blessings, in fact, it wasn't too long ago when I had fallen and I was having some pain and stuff, and what came to my mind was the hymn, "Count your blessings, name them one by one." But then I got that in Hindustani too, which is
the Hindu language?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You mean it came to you? Absolutely. Yes.
I can't sing, but I'll do this.
Yes.
It's count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Barakat is naam by naam. Barakat gino de khuda ka kaam. Barakat gino naam by naam. Aur hayran tum ho jade khuda ka kaam. See, I told you I couldn't sing, but
it's beautiful.
But the idea is that we're sitting here in this garden. There's so much beauty around, but I could spend my time inside all the time if I wanted to. And or it's a daily choice. It's a moment by moment choice. It's how we want to. I have a really good friend who's in her 90s, and we were, and she's a good woman. She's really a good woman. But we were having lunch the other day, and she said to me, "I get up every morning and I think, oh, not another day." And I started to cry. I think that's the saddest thing, to be so. She has, all that you would expect a person in their 90s to have. She's being cared for and all of that. But she hasn't found that inner light that draws her to joy. For me, every day, not every day, there are days, you know, but mostly it's a privilege and a responsibility to be alive, because we're responsible for what happens around us and within us. I mean, it's a two-way street, or more than that. But joy is contagious too. We know diseases are contagious. We know that COVID was contagious. But joy is contagious. And the positive attributes of life are hugely contagious.
You're getting hit with balloons as you're saying that.
Yeah, that's contagious. Yeah.
And so what if people have a hard time finding that joy that's within? Is it already there? Is it innately within us when we're born, or do we have to cultivate it somehow?
Well, I think it depends on how you were born, really. I think that Dorcas, born and thrown into the cactus, she was not born with joy all around her. I remember a family years ago when we were up, I was doing birthing here in Phoenix, and the family had 5 kids there to watch the baby being born. And as soon as that baby was born, these kids started singing happy birthday. The nurses and we were all in tears. I mean, it was such a joyous situation, so it depends. Sometimes you have deep-seated wounds that are, what is it, analogous? No, there's a word for it. Wounds that you have that are this friend of mine who I said, I think she probably had a very traumatic something happened during her life that caused that. And all the years that I've known her, she had never expressed that to me. Now here, a couple of weeks ago, when she did that, and I don't know that I even had the opportunity to say anything to her, but she responded to my sort of shock about what she said. I suggested she get some audio books and some, because she's lost her sight. That's what's happened. And she's was always an avid reader, and she's lost her sight. Well, as far as I know, she hasn't gotten the audio books. She'll have to do it when she's ready. But it's the kind of thing that as long as I've known her, she's never cared anything about the things that I'm talking about. Still I love her, and she knows, and we have a relationship, like a good friendship. And it's the kind of thing that you can't predict. You can't put on another person. All you can do is be who you are in relationship to that person.
And when you say you can't predict it, you mean that you can't predict when someone is going to feel joyless or something like that? Yeah.
You have no idea, because that's their life path. And it's who they are.
There are many or seem to be some studies now that show that children younger and younger are feeling a kind of depression and
Yes.
and that they're what do you think is either behind this, or what can we do to ensure, especially those early years of life are such are a solid base of joy, of gratitude, these beautiful things that you espouse that you've learned over time. How can we do this with young children with the studies that are coming out now?
Well, my opinion on that is get them out into the open, get them into
Nature.
Nature, get them to play naturally. We have given them the computer. I have a daughter-in-law who's a pediatrician. She says she has 18-month-old kids come in with laptops. And when she's trying to talk to the mother, the child is not engaged at all. And to me, that's talk about indifference or not being engaged. It's sure, it's keeping the child quiet while the mother's telling you what's going on. But where's the actual joy of watching that 18-month-old run around the office and make a mess? I mean, it's
so there can be joy in the mess. In fact, yes, joy in the mess. Maybe
yeah.
Perhaps we're trying to control things too much because of our own stress levels as parents or grandparents, whatever it might be.
Right. And trying to make things sweet and nice and not, clutter but clutter sometimes is a good thing for us to, I'm not saying be cluttered, but
you're not saying, yeah.
No, I'm saying that there are times when life gets cluttered.
Yeah.
And you deal with it. So I think what happened with the COVID thing is that there were so many things that had been pushed into the dark corners so that they didn't clutter our lives, which were pushed back out because we were pushed back into our homes. And we had to begin to look at some of these things that needed to be dealt with.
Inside ourselves, inside
our world, inside of what we're doing with Mother Earth, our relationships, the whole thing. There are all kinds of issues that became huge and still aren't being dealt with. They're messy and they're uncomfortable and you don't want to deal with them, but they're part of life.
That is such a beautiful approach that really I think we could all learn something from, is that messiness is not negative. Clutter, as long as it's not, something that you're living with for the rest of your life, or some momentary or temporary clutter, is not a negative thing. And you have often said that that pain is not bad.
No.
Can you tell us about that? What do you mean pain is not bad?
Pain is a messenger.
Pain is a messenger?
A teacher.
Mm-hmm.
If we can stop and say, well, why am I having that pain? What is my body? Because the body carries these messages. What's my body telling me? What am I doing that? And sometimes it's not a clear answer. Sometimes it's something that is deep enough that actually needs therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had a rachitic hip all my life. So when I was 98, I was walking with a cane for a while. And so I decided that was stupid. And I had my hip replaced. It set me free, So it's not that the procedures to deal with pain are bad. It's not that getting rid of pain itself is a bad thing. The important thing is what are you teaching me? What do I need to learn? Maybe I needed to learn that I had rickets when I was a kid. Okay, I had this hip and I need to have it done, and therefore my right side has not been taken care of well enough, and that takes you into the whole business of the right side being the feminine, the left side being the masculine. And what was I
thought it was the opposite. Right side is
oh
the
no, the
masculine.
feminine. That's right.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to
See,
share.
I'm doing this.
You're talking with your hands.
Yeah,
Like,
the left
yes.
side is the feminine, the
Yeah.
right side is
Yeah.
the masculine.
Yeah.
And so and that's true, because I was trying to live in a man's world. And it was, my body was telling me something, you need some help with this.
And the hip
You
is
know.
moving forward,
Yeah.
kind of, right? So,
Yeah,
oh
so
my, yeah. That's thank you for that. This has been Conversations with Dr. Gladys. Thank you, Dr. Gladys.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. And if you have questions that you would like Dr. Gladys to address in the coming days, weeks, and months, reply to the email, and also put comments on YouTube, wherever you may find this video, and Dr. Gladys will take a look at them, and you never know if your question will appear on Conversations with Dr. Gladys.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you so much.
everybody.